already know just where I be, dog. I ain't being cocky, but Philly what I'm reppin'. Watch me check it like it's hockey. I ain't tryna get it twisted. If you get it, then you got me. If you with it, cool. If not, I'll treat you like a Tamagotchi. I'ma let you down point. Yeah, I never disappoint.
What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 23 of the Seattle Attack franchise mode. If you guys remember last time, we made the playoffs, and here is going to be the playoff run. So a couple things. First off, I just want to say, sorry about the Fortnite spam this past week. And there's no really good reason for it other than I have a lot of older gameplays. And I was like, you know what, if I just upload for like a week straight of just Fortnite, maybe I can, get caught back up and start producing gameplays, especially with Season 5 now out, that obviously I'd want to get some gameplays out about that one. But the other two things that are real things is, firstly, there's a player under name with the last name of Bgross. And I have been informed by my wonderful brother that his name is not Charlie, which apparently I keep calling him in my videos, and his name is actually Chris. I, again, don't know why I was calling him Charlie, but whatever. But the second thing is kind of a little bit more important is, last episode, I think it was, I said you can't actually see the opponent's lines. Well, see where it says view lines here? If you click on that, and then wait for it to load, and then you can scroll to the team that you're facing in the playoffs, and you can see their lines. So, again, I was wrong, but thank you, Chris, for that. But I guess here are the lines. We'll start with that one. So they got Delcall, Barbashev, and Tarasenko. Okay, obviously we scouted them before, so we know exactly what their lines are, or probably were. And they're pretty close to what they were, except for, with Laterra and Statsy mixed up. Defense, I mean, we can see it as Parayko and Pietrangelo with Schultz and Smoltz on the same line, and then sheesh. So then we got Jake Allen and Stuart Skinner. All right. So we have a very tough first round ahead of us. But without further ado, let's get into it. Right? I turned on it. Well, injuries were already on from the start of April. We turned off goalie rotations. And here we are. We have the right goalies in net. Let's start it right off with playoff round number 1. We got the St. Louis Blues in the NHL, and our AHL team, the Portland Storm, are facing off against the Binghamton Devils. So let's see how we're going to end up. So first game. Game number 1. Simulate both of them. Let's just come right out strong. Let's not take any chances with these guys, and let's just get an early goal. So early power play for St. Louis. A couple of guys upset about ice time in the AHL. That really don't care. So we're out shooting them a whole bunch. 8-4. It just was 8-2. But that was a significantly outscoring period for us. So obviously we're getting more of the chances. All right. So 0-0 going into the second period. Everyone's just kind of feeling each other out. Another early power play for St. Louis. And their first line, I don't think I showed it, but the first line has Line A and Tarasenko on the first line. But there we go. Kyle Connor and a goal right afterwards. 12 seconds later, Spooner. So 2 goals, plus we got the power play. And then Brock Besser, after that, makes it a 3-0 game. And just when I thought Ryan Spooner could be out the door, he comes up with a massive goal, making it 2-0. Besser following up with 3-0. So 3-0 going into the third period. We're basically doubling their shots. And it looks like we're in control of this game. Unless something stupid happens. A 4th goal. Ryan Spooner. Dang, he really doesn't want to leave, huh? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Less than 10 minutes left. Not 10 seconds. All right, there we go. Tarasenko gets the first goal against his former teammate in Fitzpatrick. First game goes to the Seattle Attack. Let's go check out the 3 stars. Ryan Spooner, first star, 2 goals. Evan Fitzpatrick, second star in goal. And Kyle Connor with 1-1 as the 3rd star. Good to see. Very, very good to see. Very, very happy with that first game. So on to game number 2. Looks like our AHL team won their first game as well. But we were on the same day, so I guess we're going to find out what they're doing. At the same time, we find out what we're doing in the NHL. So let's keep it going. Game number 2. We got an early power play. You probably didn't even see it. Another power play for them. We're significantly outshooting them again. However, Carl Hagelin on the 4th line, I believe it is, starts the game off strong for them. However, quickly answered by Brock Besser. 41 goal performance this year for Brock Besser. You love to see it. However, first round of the playoffs, we got Tarasenko and Besser performing well with 40-plus goals in their own right. Another goal. Brock Besser. He doesn't want to slow down. He wants to show that Tarasenko and Laine that he's the better goal scorer. But let's see what happens in this entire series. A big power play. Another power play for St. Louis. Nothing happening on that. Shots are even right now. Late power play in the period. Doesn't come up with anything. So we're going into the 3rd period up by 1. Can we continue this good run? Let's get to all periods real quick. Early goal by Shorts, their defenseman, second line, right defenseman, I think it is, ties the game up. However, power play for us, nothing seems to be happening. 5 minutes left. Who's going to crack the tie? Are we going to overtime? It looks like we are. Yep, so there we go. Overtime game in game number 2, tied up 2-2. What's going to happen here? Let's go to all periods one more time. Overtime. Next goal wins. Power play in overtime. That was huge. Should have scored on that one. 10 minutes left in the first overtime period. Power play for St. Louis. Shut them down. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Second overtime. Let's keep going. Shots are going nuts. Who scored? They got the game. What's his name? Justin Schultz. Second line left defenseman for the St. Louis Blues. Takes the game for him and ties the series up 1-1. Let's move on into game number 3, where I believe we are going home, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure they had the better record. But 3 stars of the game, we got Jake Allen in net, Brock Besser with 2 goals, and Justin Schultz with a goal. All right, we got at least 1 star in there. Can we continue? Well, I guess we can't really continue if we just lost the last game. But yep, we're heading back home in the first home game in the Seattle Megadome against St. Louis. We're tied up 1-1. AHL team won their second game. They're up 2-0 in their series. Can we win this game? First game at home. Increase the simulation speed. What do we got? So St. Louis with another early power play, and they score on it. Colton Parayko, quickly followed by Fabry. You hate to see that one. So what we did to them is exactly what they just did to us. Patrick Laine gets their 3rd goal of the period. Not a start you'd want if you're a Seattle fan. All right, let's keep going. All periods. I know we can come back. Early power play. Can we score on that one? No. Another power play. Nothing. All right. Halfway through the second period. St. Louis is still up 3-0. Shots are not even, but they're out shooting us a little bit. Another power play. Sheesh. Our power play is just non-existent here. All right. 3rd period time. Another power play for us. Fabry with the 2nd of the game. Another power play for us. Again, no dice. They get a power play. Nothing for them either. 7 minutes left. Can we at least score a goal to at least break the shutout? Patrick Laine with his 2nd of the game. 2 guys looking for the hat trick. However, not going to do it. 5-0. A big spanking in their first game in Seattle. You hate to see that one. 5-0. 3 stars of the game. Patrick Laine, Jake Allen, Robbie Fabry. Forgot his first name for a second. But okay. Going into game number 4. Down by 1 game. I don't think I want to change anything. Only because when we won pretty big. Second game was close. Double overtime. But then this game was a little bit not what we wanted. So, all right. I think I'm going to stay the same here. Maybe if we lose this game, we'll change up something. See what's happening with our team. We probably should have switched up the power play if I'm not mistaken. But looks like our AHL team won as well. There we go. Ryan Spooner. Look at the guy that's coming up clutch when we need him. out shooting 9-2, 9-3 that is. Then we go and get a goal, 5-on-3 power play. Nothing happening there. But I think Spooner hurt us. Line it with another goal. But Spooner hurt us, for sure. Oh, if he's not going to perform, probably going to get rid of him. Look who's come up with clutch goals already. What, he's got like, what, 3 or 4 already this postseason. Another power play for St. Louis, a 5-on-3 at one point. Not happening. So 24 shots already in the game for us. Another power play by St. Louis. We're heading into the third period, tied up at 1. It's going to be close. I feel like the next goal is probably going to take it. And then if someone else gets a goal right after that, makes it like a 3-1 game. I feel like that team's going to win. But another power play by St. Louis. Nothing happening for us. 5 minutes left. They started to outshoot us. However, Brock Besser with the late power play goal with 3:51 on the clock takes the game. Give him the game-winning goal. Besser and Spooner take the game into their own hands, score each a goal. So 3 starts the game. Once again, Evan Fitzpatrick up there, Jake Allen for the other team, and Brock Besser with the game-winning goal. Let's continue on. So we're tied up 2-2 now in the series. We're heading back to St. Louis. However, Danny DeKaiser out with a mild concussion. April 25th is the estimated return. We do have to call up somebody. So we're actually going to call up, let's see. Well, first off, let's see who we have down here. We have Goldman, who's a left-handed defenseman. And then we have Cuckoo, which we sent down just to try to get some playing time with him. But I'm going to bring up Goldman just to see what he can do up here. You know, I wanted to bring him up to begin with. Plus, he's probably going to be up here next year. And I might as well give him some time in the most crucial time of them all. So let's put him in here. As far as lines go, I guess we'll just do simple. Put Martinez on the first line since he still is pretty good. Let's put in Cuckoo down here. That way he plays and he can get his stats back up to what we want. Now I know that's why we got Cuckoo, is to be that extra guy. But you know what? Goldman's one of our own, and you know, I would like to get him some playing time before he gets up there, if that makes sense. So on to game number 5, we got a massive game here. This is a crucial turning point of this series. It's now a best of 3, tied up 2-2. We're facing off against the St. Louis Blues. We're in a very, very tough situation. They did better us in the regular season. However, this is the postseason, to where in the playoffs, anything can happen. But an early power play by us doesn't turn up anything. So maybe we swap up power play lines. Maybe. I don't really know. We're out shooting them again. That's something I've noticed recently, is we're out shooting them early in the game. So we're getting those early chances. However, we're not really, you know, doing anything with it. Like, the shots right now are 13-4 going into the second period. And it was still a 0-0 game. However, early power play goal for us once again, followed by another power play from St. Louis. However, Paul Stastny wants to take the game and make it uneven. Quickly followed by Tarasenko. That's not something you want to see in a crucial game 5. 5 minutes left in the second period. Can we get a goal right before the third period? No, we cannot. Tarasenko and Stastny, 2 goals. Not what you want to see. But all right, I have trust. Come on, team. We got this. Come on, early power play or something. There we go. Brock Besser with the early goal. 1 minute and 16 seconds into the period gets the first goal. So who's going to follow that performance from Besser? Power play, non-existent. Power play for St. Louis, non-existent. What can we do? 2 minutes left. We got to score here. Late goal? No. 2-1. St. Louis takes the crucial game 5. We have to win out here if we want to continue in this series. So 3 stars. I went by it quickly. Jake Allen, Tarasenko, and Evan Fitzpatrick. Come on, boys. Remember what we did last year. We were 1 goal, 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's head back to Seattle and show why last year wasn't a fluke. We're back. Our backs are against the wall right now. We're down 2-3. We're at home. When we were at home, first game was not very good. We lost 5-0. Second game, we won 2-1. Other than the 2 stompings in the first game in each other's arenas, Every other game has been a 1-goal game. So it's been close when it's not the first game back in a new arena. Increase the simulating speed. Go to goals. There we go. Who was it? Lindholm. 50 seconds into the game. That's what you love to see. Charlie Bigros. I called him Charlie again. His name is Chris. Chris Bigros on Jake Allen. Quickly followed by Tarasenko. It's 2-1 Seattle. 8-4 in shots. I mean, I love the 2 early goals by Bigros and Lindholm. However, quickly followed by Tarasenko, a guy you definitely don't want to get hot in this game. However, he scores one more time. You hate to see that. Quicker, yeah, a little bit quicker than what we scored in the first period, but a big power play for us, 5-on-4, then 5-on-3. Patrick Laine, the dynamic duo of Laine and Tarasenko, takes the lead from us going into the third period. Everything of our playoff lives comes down to this period. The series is 3-2 in favor of St. Louis. The score in the game is 3-2 in favor of St. Louis. But you know what we got to do? We got to tie up the series, which means we got to win the game, which is right here. Third period time. An early power play is not going to help us in this situation. That's a long power play too. I don't know if that was a major or just a double minor or what, but that's not going to help us. However, Robbie Fabry makes it 4-2. Is this series going to follow like that? We need 2 goals real quick here. Yeah, Shorts puts it out of hand. 3-goal lead with under a minute left. Tough to do in the playoffs. However, St. Louis takes us out in the first round. You hate to see that. However, you know, we had a decent run, right? It's going to be obviously a shorter playoff video, getting eliminated in the first round, but I guess we'll follow out the AHL team, see how they do. But let's just recap real quick. So we start off strong, 4-1 victory in St. Louis, followed by an overtime loss, which obviously 1-goal game. We then come back to Seattle. We get destroyed, 5-0. Then we tie it back up, 2-1. Making the series 2-2. Then we lose the next game by 1 goal. And then this goal, little out of reach, 5-2. So it sucks. It really does. But we'll follow out the AHL team and then check out the stats and everything and see who the playoff tree and everything like that. So let's just go down and see what happens. So they're facing Belleville in the second round. It looks like. So they're 3-0. So that's good to see. However, 3-2. So that means they just got destroyed. All right. So I think that one was a best of 5. So I think pretty sure it was the first to 3. So I'm pretty sure that's it, if I'm not mistaken, for the AHL team. Actually, no, it was a best of 7. All right. So it was best of 7. We lost anyway. That's why I didn't do the lines. But let's continue on here. Go to wherever the season ends here, about June 1st. And see who ends up winning. So first round exit for us in the NHL. Second round exit for our AHL team. Now obviously you never want to lose in the playoffs. You know, last year going to the third round. Yeah, last year going to the third round, then losing it really sucks. It does, but you know what? We're gonna come back stronger next year. We got some roster moves in mind that we want to make, create some opportunities for some young guys. Let's see. Where are the winners from this year? So the Carolina Hurricanes end up taking the Stanley Cup, and the Chicago Wolves take the Calder Cup. Let's go take a look at the playoff tree and see how everyone won their games. So we're starting off with the stats from our team. Kyle Connor leading the way at 6 points. Really happy about the acquisition. Excited to re-sign him next year and see what happens. Brock Besser also in the first line. 5 goals for him. That's what we're paying him to do, is score goals. Kyle Turris, 4 points. You'd love to see that. Ryan Spooner with 3 goals. They weren't, like they weren't really important. They were pretty big goals, honestly. Lindholm doing well. Horvat kind of underperformed a little bit. I think he was one on our first line, I believe. Richie, Berchi, all right. Then I guess our bottom 4 guys here didn't do a damn thing in the playoffs. But I guess Bozak, Pajot, and Dzingel is our 4th line. But then Glass on our 3rd line. struggled a little bit. -5. Didn't really put up much of anything. However, on defense, Shattenkirk, 0 points, -1. Didn't really do much of anything. Alonco, -4. I mean, even Goldman went +1. I mean, then we got Martinez, -3, but got 1 point. I almost said it again. Chris Bigros, 2 points. Then in net, obviously, Fitzpatrick, 2 and 3 and 1. You know, not terrible stats, but we didn't end up taking the victory. But let's go see what our AHL team did real quick. So Velaheinen did well. Scott kind of lost it for him, it looks like. But we're going to go into the next year. We're going to talk about that later on. But Logren, 4 points. Going to try to see what he can do next year in the NHL. Hopefully we can bring him up. Goldman did fine. You know, Cuckoo did whatever. What else we have? Forwards. So, all right. Cairo did well. Slayer did well. Hainsey. This guy, I don't know where this guy came from. But this is our second best performing center. You know, we got him after this year. He was -32. We got him in a trade, I believe, and then he puts up 44 points at his 70 overall. He outperformed, you know, our 75 overall players. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And a couple of the guys didn't really do much of anything. So it looks like almost like our top 6 did a whole bunch, but not really our bottom 6. So, you know what? I don't really know what to go from here other than to go look at the playoff tree that I just backed out of by accident. But all right, quick look at the AHL playoff tree, then we'll get to the NHL. So our team, the Portland Storm, started off against the Binghamton Devils, went 3-0, swept them. However, second round, we get swept by the Belleville Senators. They go to a game 5 in the first round, and we sweep them, and yet second round, they come out and sweep us. Interesting to see. So who ends up winning? Chicago. So who do they take out? They take out the Milwaukee Admirals, they take out the Iowa Wild, and they take out the San Antonio Rampage. So, all right, good run for them. It looks like they didn't have an easy run at all. You know, they had a pretty close series. There was only, 1, 2, 3, only 4 sweeps in the entirety of the playoffs. So, it's good to see. So, let's start out on the Western Conference where we were. So, the St. Louis Blues end up taking out taking out us, I should say. I'm about to say the Seattle Attack. That's us. Like, Josh, that's us. Anyway, then they go to the second round, take out the Dallas Stars. They then take out the Vancouver Canucks. And then, they go all the way to the Stanley Cup final versus Carolina and then end up losing. But Carolina's run, they start out in the very, very bottom. Game 7 versus Tampa Bay. Game 7 versus Buffalo. Game 6 versus the New Jersey Devils. And then they take the final one in game number 5. But if you look at the teams that we beat last year, I mean, the Calgary Flames, they lost to Edmonton. Vancouver won. Then Vancouver and Edmonton played, and Vancouver won. So, I mean, if only we would have had the teams we beat last year, that would have been awesome. But the chips didn't fall in our favor this time. I believe we were the 7th seed or something like that going into the playoffs. So we faced off against a very, very tough opponent, and they did show that they were the better team. However, we took 2 games off them, so that was good to see. Carolina, I'd like to go see their stats and see what they were up to. Actually, these are the regular season stats. We want to go see the postseason stats for the Carolina Hurricanes. So congrats to them. Congrats to Chicago. But let's see. That's not what I want to do. We want to stay in the NHL and go to the Carolina Hurricanes. So who do they even have on a team? They got Teravainen leading the way with, okay, so this is a rookie that I didn't ever hear of. So, you know, they got a good future on left wing at least. Victor Rask, Slavin. Let's go to forwards. Brian Little, all right. Aho, all right. They have a pretty decent team. Michael Raffel. What about defensemen? What do they got? Slavin, Falk, Bean, Hannafin, Muzzin. Oh my gosh, their defense is actually incredible. So their starters are probably who? Slavin, okay, so you got what? 86, 88, 86, 88. 85, and then you have whoever it was between Stone, Stahl, and Fleury. I think it was Fleury. It was either Fleury or Stone, because one of them probably decreased in overall. But that's incredible. All right, who was in goal for them? Scott Darling. How does Scott Darling at an 83 overall lead the Carolina Hurricanes to a Stanley Cup championship. I mean, I don't know. Is going lower in overall the better option, for trying to win or what? But I just don't know. So we looked at our stats. We looked at basically everything we got to do. I guess we'll quickly talk about what we want to do for next year. So most likely, again, we're going to talk about this in the next episode as well. But we're probably going to try to trade Alex Martinez. That way we can bring up Slater Cuckoo. And then we'll probably see what's going on with our right-hand defenseman. If Shattenkirk ends up retiring, then we'll probably bring up, somebody to fill his spot. And then this is probably the biggest one, is the battle of the backups in this situation, to where we have Subban, we have Velleheinen. I'd like to bring Velleheinen up. So what's going to actually happen is we're going to have a big preseason battle. Each goaltender or each backup goaltender is going to play in 3 games each. And whoever performs the worst is going to get traded, basically. Because that way we can have, whoever wins that battle. And if not, if it's Subban, then we'll just, stick with Subban in the NHL. If it's Velleheinen, we'll trade away Subban. And, if we have to trade away Velleheinen, it gives him a chance to go play somewhere else. But, I'd like to bring him up. Obviously, we have Scott coming as well. So, I wanted to bring him up like 2 years ago, right before he got really good. And, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I'm gonna do the trade block off camera. We're just gonna try to trade away Martinez, and then probably see what Subban and Velleheinen are doing. And then other than that, I don't really see us getting rid of anyone else really, substantial. Basically just Martinez. And next year hopefully it'll be better. We're gonna minor changes. We're not really going for the major ones unless there's a big free agent or something. We'll have to see if we want to go after. And I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever.